Hello everyone, it's Attacker72 here, and for today, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has introduced a new type of species in the Paldea region that you can't find anywhere else in the Pokemon games, and that, my friends, are the Paradox Pokémon. Now, the thing about these Paradox Pokémon is that aside from them kind of looking very familiar to the Pokemon we know throughout the entire series, we don't really know anything else about them aside that they came from the past and the future. One of them managed to get out of Area Zero to be exact, and we don't really know why they exist to begin with or how they came to be. All we know is that their designs are quite unique and they may resemble Pokemon that we already know of. So that's why in this video I'm going to be talking about each Paradox Pokemon, whether it's the one from Scarlet or the one from Violet, and to see which version of Paradox Pokemon are better. Keep in mind, I'm going to be talking about them in terms of design, on how unique the design is or how creative it is, and just my thoughts and opinions overall. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and so with that, let's go and talk about the Paradox Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet. First off are the two Paradox Pokemon versions of Dunfan, the elephant Pokemon. So far, for the Scarlet version, we got Great Tusk. From the design itself, this is really one of the best looking Paradox Pokemon designs so far, even though this is the first one. And this is actually the very first one that you encounter during your story mode in the beginning of the game, whether you take the Path of Legends story arc. Not gonna lie, Dunfan's Great Tusk design is really amazing, from the, tusk itself, the prehistoric era, and making it look like a mammoth is really perfect. Easily the best Dunfan version of all time. However, Iron Treads, I can see some having a bit of issues. One thing I'm not a fan of is its face. I do kind of find it kind of goofy as well. I really know that most of these... I do find the design unique though, such as its trunk basically being its tail, I assume, because, to be fair, some of these Paradox Pokemon are weirdly designed, but in a unique way. Some are really having a bit of issues with iron treads and all. I don't mind the design whatsoever. I do love the metallic horns and all, and the ears, and especially, like I said, the trunk that looks pretty much resembles a tail. The face is what looks off-putting to me. That's really the reason why Great Tusk is by far the best iteration of Dunfan. So, yeah, I can say that Great Tusk is the better version of Dunfan here. Next up are two Pokemon that don't really have specific future or prehistoric times. We got the Screamtail, which is the prehistoric iteration of Jigglypuff, and then Iron Bundle, the futuristic version of Delibird. So for Screamtail, I don't know what to say about this, to be fair. Look, I'm not a fan of Jigglypuff myself, but I do really like the design from its hair kind of, sticking out in the back and all, and then hit out some fangs, and the color fur of Jigglypuff is a bit more lighter, while the tip end of the hair is way more dark pink, so that's something I do like. I don't really know what else I can say about it, and they do float, however, which is really cool. So yeah, I don't mind Screamtail, so decent design in terms of, the prehistoric. But Iron Bundle, it's pretty goofy, but it's really to me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mention this right now. For the future Paradox Pokemon, whenever I'm going to talk about, you're going to see me be a little bit underwhelmed by some of these, because the thing about these futuristic Paradox Pokemon Violet is that all of them are just robotic. Yes, that has been, iterated in so many different media, but just making them feel like just make them feel very robotic, it just doesn't really match at all. But I'll continue on when I say this. So I do think that Screamtail is really cool looking, and I do find Delibird a bit goofy, but meh at the same time. Next up is Brute Bonnet, the prehistoric version of Among Us, and then Iron Hands, the futuristic version of Hariyama. If that's the Pokemon's name, if I can remember. So for Brute Bonnet, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, yeah, it's pretty vicious and all. It does have some vines covering its face and all, but I do find this design a little bit boring and all. And yeah, I can't really say the same thing for Hariyama's futuristic version, Iron Hands, because it's literally just a robotic version of Hariyama. I do like the yellow glowing palms though in his hands, so that gets some pluses. So that'll get some plus points for me. So yeah, this is just the first one. This is basically the first future Paradox Pokemon that I do like, just by a decent shot. Up next is Fluttermane, the prehistoric version of, I think it was Miss Drevis, and then Iron Jugulis, which is the futuristic version of Hydreigon. Okay, I'm gonna say this right away, this is by far the laziest design I've seen in terms of a futuristic Pokemon. This is just a robot version of Hydreigon. Yeah, sure, some designs are pretty much different, and kind of looks very familiar to their original predecessors, but this one is just a robot version of, this is just a robot version of Hydreigon. At least Iron Treads had some unique designs in it, and the same goes with Iron Hands. This is just a very lazy design, in my opinion. By far the worst Paradox futuristic Pokemon. So yeah, this Warner goes by Fluttermane. Even though it's kind of okay and decent in design, I still prefer it over Iron Jugulis as a whole. Alrighty, this time we're now back to another Pokemon with two different iterations featuring Volcarona. We got Slitherwing, the prehistoric version of it, and also Iron Moth, the futuristic version of the said Pokemon. I really think these two Pokemon are really tough to judge because both of them have really cool designs, and the details of Iron Moth basically sleeping and its wings turning off is really a nice detail. But Slither right here is really unique just from the design itself. I mean, I don't mind Volcarona's original design, but the prehistoric version really looks cool. But I'm just gonna have to give this to Iron Moth. Like I said, the details of him just, turning up the wings, while it sleeps is a nice little detail. Plus, it really looks unique in my opinion. I'm sorry, Slitherwing, you really are cool in terms of prehistoric ones, but Iron Moth really seems cool to me. Up next is Sandy Shocks, the prehistoric version of, I think it's a magnet Pokemon, I can't remember its name sadly, and Iron Treads, which is Iron Thorn, or was it Iron Thorn and Iron Treads? I can't really remember. Oh no, never mind, it is Iron Thorns, my apologies. Iron Thorns, the futuristic version of Tyranitar. Easily Tyrantar's futuristic version. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty unique and all, and it's mostly just goofy, but Iron Thorns is literally just Mecha Godzilla, and that's really what I like about it. Plus, I love the spikes in its back, really, having a radiating feel. Plus, the tail itself, and like I mentioned, it's literally just green Mecha Godzilla. And can we not mention its shiny version? They made the colors very better with Iron Thorns. So this is by far the best iteration of Tyranitar I've seen yet. Next up is the two Pokemon, the prehistoric version of Salamence Roaring Moon, and the futuristic version of Mega Gallade and Mega Gardevoir, surprisingly, Iron Valiant. So Iron Valiant is cool and all. I actually kind of got Iron Valiant pretty early than I expected from a simple trade and all. But Roaring Moon, I must say, despite liking Iron Valiant pretty much, my problem is that, like I mentioned before, most of the futuristic Pokemon are just robot versions of said Pokemon, which doesn't really give that much of a unique feeling. Like, they can make some parts of it robotic, but at least try and make them sort of similar to the original Pokemon we know of. But Roaring Moon, yeah, definitely takes the spot right here. I love the design of its wings. I just love how vicious it looks, really. And finally, we have to go and do this debate right there. The box legendary Pokemon, Koraidon and Miraidon. So, let's talk about Koraidon first. This was like I mentioned before in past videos, I have Scarlet specifically. But I can't deny that people really like Miraidon more because of the design. But let's talk about what they were before they got their battle form. So, for Koraidon and Miraidon, they both stand on their feet. Some pros and cons. They both look pretty funny and goofy just running that way. However, Koraidon is mostly just him. Despite the wheel on its chest, it basically runs on its feet. But Miraidon can basically do anything, kind of what a futuristic Pokemon can do. It can fly, it can swim, and it can glide. It's waterproof, so that's definitely something. However, in terms of battle forms itself, Koraidon does look a bit goofy just from its battle form itself. Yeah, design-wise, when it's in its ride form, it's cool. Battle form, it's decent, but it's not as amazing as Koraidon. Because once you use Koraidon as in its battle form, it's one of the best-looking design Pokemon and legendaries yet. So, yeah, I prefer Koraidon more than Miraidon. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to give Scarlet a huge chance. I know Violet is very popular because of its box legendary, but you can't deny that some of the Paradox Pokemon is a little bit underwhelming, but so that's really why I prefer Koraidon more than Miraidon. It's literally just a fighting type of Cyclizar, and that's about it. So, overall, what is by far the best iteration of Paradox Pokemon in both versions? Well, given how much I've stated my opinions throughout this, I will say that the Prehistoric version for Scarlet makes it really better. Great Tusk. We also got there's Great Tusk, the Great Tusk, Fluttermane, Slitherwing, Roaring Moon, and look, I don't mind some designs for the future ones, because, I mean, I don't mind Hariyama's design. I do like Iron Valiant a bit more, but I love Iron Thorns a lot just because of its Mecha Godzilla-like feel, and as much as I really like Miraidon in terms of just the design itself, Koraidon definitely takes the cake because of its battle form. So, Prehistoric version can take the top, but like I mentioned in the beginning, these are my thoughts and opinions about this, so you can disagree with me all you want, but I want to know all your thoughts and opinions down below about this. What do you all think is the best version of Scarlet and Violet? Which do you think had the better Paradox Pokemon in terms of its lineup, design, its uniqueness, or anything else about it? And I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I've been making a lot of Scarlet and Violet videos and all, but it's really quite a fun game the more I play it, and I just cannot stop just playing it, and I just can't wait to see when they add Pokemon Home in the future. But off topic aside, hope you guys enjoy your day, and remember this, once a legend, always a legend. Like